Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, Hashem, Yahawashi, Hashem, Wakwak, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, and Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakwathium, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity. This is Brother Kawakam coming at you with another lesson. It's going to be a short, quick lesson. I really wanted to do this ahead of time because I might not, keyword might not be able to make a lesson tomorrow. So, this is a lesson within a lesson, a mini lesson within a mini lesson, to kind of like point out that, even even in times when you aren't able, you try to fulfill your obligations and whatnot, especially when it comes to YAHAWASHI, we always need to take the extra step to ensure that we, fulfill our duties and our obligations to first and foremost our Lord, but also at the same time people in general, okay? Because that's another thing, as the scriptures say, live peaceably with all men, so you don't have to, so people will see you as like the perfect standard, the perfect example of someone that's always going to do the right thing and make sure that everything is in order, because we need to have our lives in order, okay? Even though at the end of the day, our lives can never truly be in order, given that we're under the curses, but we do our best to have some sort of structure. All right. So Slakia, let me continue into this actual lesson. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 38. If any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. Let me also get this. I'm trying to remember what it was.
We have a church building being built to worship Jesus, who blessed all nations on earth through the salvation that he provides, and those who receive that salvation are now making a pilgrimage.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 12. For what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within. So I might have to read them again, but let's watch this video.
Okay, here's this disclaimer. I'm not trying to delegitimize anyone's beliefs or identity here. It's a blanket statement. But it's just a story of what I experienced a couple weeks ago. A representative or missionary or whatever came up to my black friend and I, trying to tell us all about the black Hebrew Israelites. And it's basically about how black people are the real Israelites because they come from these 12 lost tribes in Israel. Even though I am not their demographic, I still wanted to ask questions because I'm a very curious person. I love to learn about things that are religious, political, cultural. And so I asked, so just to clarify, white people from Israel are not actual Israelites in your belief, right? He said, yes, that's why they call them Jewish, because they are not real Jews. Being Jewish refers to having someone in your family or you yourself believing in Judaism. It does not have to do with where you're from. Anyone of any race can be Jewish. Then my next question was, so how do you feel about the Israel-Palestine conflict? Even though we all know it's a genocide, I didn't want to put everyone up in arms by saying genocide. And he said, what they're doing is right, because that land belongs to the people of Israel. How are you going to hate white Israelites, but also hate Palestinians? How are you going to hate both sides of the conflict?
Hashem, Yahawashi, double honor to the apostles and elders.
Alright, so you heard that, and this girl is actually just, she's dumb. Like, she's genuinely dumb. I got secondhand embarrassment. I got secondhand stupidity from what she was saying. So, basically, let's break this down, okay? Let's go through it. So, first things first, she had said that being Jewish is not related to your bloodline. It is just a belief. Literally nobody that knows anything about the Bible, that knows a fragment about the Bible, would believe her, all right, or would agree with her. Israelites wouldn't agree with her. The specific people in question would not agree with her. So like I didn't say mean believe. I meant Israelites would not agree with her. What's it called? The what people would not agree with her, and just anyone in general that know the literal. Oh my God. Lucky. Where's my thing?
have a descendant through Sarah who would become a blessing to all nations on earth. He promised Abraham that he would come through his lineage, through his descendants.
So over here it says a can be someone who practices Judaism, the religion, or someone with J ancestry, regardless of their level of religious observance. Okay, so it is someone. Oh yeah, over here. This includes both converts to Judaism and those who have been J since birth. Okay, so and this is the thing, because she, number one, she doesn't know, apparently or clearly, she doesn't know about the born into it or from birth you are. This is an ancestral thing. Second thing, this whole convert thing, this whole you don't have to be born into it, or it's not an ethnicity, just a religion. That is something that Esau made it out to be. Esau turned it into a religion, okay, rather than an actual ethnicity and a custom and a practice. So in that sense, yes, that is kind of where she got things misconstrued, and that's where she is what's the word, uneducated. All right, so it's like she is over here, and you know what, maybe okay, Slocky, you know what, my bad for saying that she's dumb. She's not dumb, she's just ignorant. Okay, that's basically it. Okay, so I take back me calling her dumb. She's not dumb. And it's precisely from that that people in general, they just don't know this, and they have things, people that aren't as invested, mind you, in in YAHAWAH or the Bible or any of these types of stuff. They're not gonna have any proper information, so they're going to think, oh yeah, well, just what you think, or whatever generic saying that Christians say / those people say about it. All right, whereas again, fundamentally, being an Israelite is hereditary. It's not just a practice. It's not just a custom or anything like that. It is a custom, but it's hereditary still. Okay, your ethnicity is determined. So let's actually get that. Okay, and Slakia, 1 Corinthians 14 verse 38. But if any man be ignorant, let him be ignorant. So if you don't know this and you are going to go out there and act this way, then you know what, and you're not going to correct yourself or make sure that you are aware of all the things that you're saying, then that's all on you. Now, over here, Exodus chapter 32 verse 13. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidest unto them, I will multiply your seed. Okay, seed is the key word here, as the stars of heaven, and all this land I have spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. Okay, so I guess let's get this. So I have to kind of bring the point home. Exodus 32 and 13.
West of Bethany is the top of the Mount of Olives, and on the other side the Dome of
Exodus chapter 32, and let's just go to the word seed.
Moses and Lazarus, the temple stood.
seed, it's Zerah.
Strong's H2233. Zerah. Zerah.
Zerah. Okay, so it's seed, sowing, offspring, a sowing seed, semen, virile, offspring, descendant. So yeah, children basically. And let's go to the other one.
One thing that Solar did not excavate.
Should be, yeah, it's the same thing, Zerah. Zerah. Alright, where it's, once again, seed, offspring. And that's Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They had children, okay? Abraham had 2 kids. Yeah, Abraham had 2 kids. Isaac had 2 kids. And then, what's his name? I think, Jacob or Israel, he had, I think, like 10, I believe, 10 or 11. 10, no, it's lucky, 10. 10 kids, okay? And those 10 kids had, or I think it was 9, whatever, but basically 9 to 11. And those 10 kids, or it's lucky, 9 to 11, okay? Those 10 kids, okay, minus 1 because he had a daughter, they had came to become the children of Israel, or the Israelites. All right, so they are the progenitors of all the 12 tribes of the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Okay, yeah, maybe it was 11. Anyway, so yeah, this is Dan. Anyway, so yeah, as a result of that, there is the matter of us being the offspring, and that's what makes us Israelites, and that's what the Israelite was basically explaining to her, but she again had her misconception and just in general didn't want to acknowledge or accept what the Israelite was saying. All right. Now, 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 12, for what have I to do to judge them also that are without? Do not ye judge them that are within. Okay, so it's not up to us for us to correct, judge, or say, oh, this person is something that I have to deal with. This is something that we have to deal with as a whole. No, okay, it's not our business. Our own business is just to, focus on what's the word? Focus on, what's that word called again? It's Slack. You focus on dealing with the people that we know is in the truth. Okay, it's not up to if someone demonstrates that they don't care about the truth, then that's when it's like, okay, you know what, just oh well, So let's more.
Hebrew Israelites, and it's basically about how black people are the real Israelites because they come from these 12 lost tribes in Israel. Even though I'm not their demographic, I still wanted to ask questions because I'm a very curious person.
Oh yeah, Slocky. That was the next thing I remember I wanted to talk about. Look at when you can hear in the way she speaks, and this is obviously not something that's very easy to detect at times, but you can sometimes hear and you can see the tone change. All right. In how someone speaks, and I don't know exactly how the conversation went down, but and I don't know, she does a bad job at really explaining the thing. Like after she asked the question, did she say that dumbass thing of actually being a J is not something that is hereditary, it's actually something that is just belief. And then she freaking just makes herself look like a complete dumbass in front of her friend, which maybe her friend is just as dumb as her. Slocky again, I'm not trying to be dumb, I'm not trying to be rude, but sometimes people deserve having rudeness come at them, because she is definitely insincere with these line of questions. Okay, but continuing on,
I love to learn about things that are
curious person thing. Yeah, she's not actually curious. It's like I guess it was more so a way to kind of like talk about what's it called, or like the whole virtue signaling thing where they talk about oh my God, free Palestine, oh my God, Palestine, this, they're doing this, blah blah blah, and stuff like that, where people oftentimes expect you to just be, and this is in American politics, or Edomite politics more specifically, where if you're not against me, if you're not for me, then you're obviously against me. Or if you're not against me, then you should be for me. You should be saying, oh yes, we're all liberal, we're all this, that, and the third. Come on, come join me and whatnot. But then they just can't fathom, all right, and which she basically demonstrated. She just can't fathom why why an Israelite, or why we would say that we are not against Israel, or we're not against Palestine, or not for either or side and whatnot, when it's not. Being an Israelite, a so-called black man, okay, more specifically, being a so-called Hispanic, so-called Native Americans, okay, being literally any other race that is not an Edomite, or those, I think those are Ishmaelites, I could be wrong about them, whatever the Palestinians are, okay, being not one of those two. Literally all races of people that are not those two have no business to care about it at all, unless they are specifically invested in terms of the whole war efforts and treaties and alliances and stuff like that. But as an individual, okay, why would we waste our time caring about something like that when it has absolutely nothing to do with us? All right. So this was something that, again, like, it just kind of like, it's always Esau that expects all these other nations, okay, to drink of their wine, which, by the way, that's in Jeremiah. How does I remember the exact thing? I doubt it, but let's try it. Jeremiah 51:12. I don't think that's right. Jeremiah 51:7. Let me try 7. Okay, it was 7. Second try. Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that's another thing where all the nations have drunken of the wine of Babylon, or taken, which basically the wine is the fornication / the doctrine of Esau, Edom. These other nations are basically, I won't say all of them, but most of them are basically, joining hand in hand with Esau and wanting to adopt his doctrine. All right, adopt Esau's doctrine. So as a result of that, Esau always expects people to be on his side, when in actuality, all the nations are mad because they're corrupting. Esau's been corrupting their people, and the leaders primarily are basically going to turn on Babylon. All right, I believe that was in Revelation as well. Revelation 12. I'm trying to remember more. Anyway, continuing on.
Are religious, political, cultural. And so I asked, so just to clarify, white people from Israel are not actual Israelites in your belief, right? He said, yes. That's why they call them Jewish, because they're not real Jews.
And ish is actually a good thing, is actually a good explanation to it. I have no issue with how the Israelite explained to her, but apparently she can't get it. So basically, if you go into this, ish meaning, ish is basically something like, the suffix ish, is this a suffix? Yes, suffix meaning. It's meaning like something is like something, okay? Indicate approximation, similarity, or slight degree of equality, okay? So let's say a man is acting girl-ish. That doesn't mean that the man is a girl. It just means that he's acting girl-ish, okay? So he's acting in traits that are akin to that of a girl, okay? And just like and the same thing applies, with this whole ish suffix, J-ish suffix, all right? J-ish suffix, okay?
Being Jewish refers to having someone in your family or you yourself believing in Judaism. It does not have to do with where you're from. Anyone of any race can be Jewish.
And again, you already know that's not. Anyway.
Then my next question was, so how do you feel about...
Oh, yeah, and then it's just a virtue signaling, trying to get people to agree with her that, oh, yeah, the Palestinians are being oppressed, blah, 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 that type of stuff. Okay, so next, Psalm 55, verse 20, he hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And, you know, there are going to be times where people are going to be coming at you like this. That was another thing I just want. This is trying to be a short lesson, but, you know, that's another thing that you kind of got to be aware of, especially when Esau's speaking to you, okay, of that underhanded, you know, backstabbing type speech that they do, all right, where they might seem like, oh, you know, we're just talking, it's all fine, we're all good, but then in actuality, like, they're secretly judging you, expecting you to say certain things. They ask these trick questions, rhetorical questions, where they expect you to be saying one thing, but in actuality, you know, if you're not a pussy and whatnot, you're gonna say the truth. Okay, they expect you to lie. They expect you, you know, and that's basically the thing where Esau is always about lying. John 8:40 verse 44. Okay, so let me get this. Continuing on. Psalm 64 verse 3. Who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay, they encourage themselves in an evil manner. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? Okay, so yeah, this is what they do. They always try to make some underhanded remarks, try to make some underhanded, you know, double talk, try to, you know, and they ask you questions where they expect you to say one thing, and then when you say something else, or what they don't expect you to say, because they think that life is just one way or the other. They say they think it's just like, oh, you either it's always just you're for Esau or you're against it, or like they don't appreciate no fence sitting. They don't appreciate someone just minding their own business in general, because especially as an Israelite, if you are just minding your own business, okay, Esau will find a way to either find a way to blame you or to condemn you in some way. You know, that's just how things are. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BaHashem, YAHAWASHI, BaHashem, WAHAWAH, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, AHPARYAM, and Shalom.